Not the wheeze. Hello, everyone, and
Viewer discretion is advised.
hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the November 10th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. In our opening contest, we have Ahmed Johnson taking on Marc Mero. Taka Michinoku takes on Devon Storm in a light heavyweight quarterfinal match. The Headbangers take on two members of the Truth Commission. The New Age Outlaws take on Bradshaw in a handicap bunkhouse brawl. Just AKA another name for no disqualification match. Undertaker takes on Mustafa of the Nation of Domination, and Triple H takes on Ken Shamrock in our main event. All right, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It has been a minute since we've done an actual episode of Raw. As you all know, we have been taking the Survivor Series Montreal Screwjob Yellow Brick Road all the way down to Oz. And boy,
And we
is
are
there a lot there.
there's a big wizard behind the curtain.
No, absolutely. And his name is Vince McMahon. So, if you are new to wrestling, you are in luck. This is Kelsey. She is also new. I am Xavier, for those of you who are not new. And I'm also here for those of you who are new. Otherwise, it would just be a lot of y'all just kind of stumbling around.
Period. I swear. I
but-
literally just said before we started, I was like, I love when you take charge. I love when you're in charge of me. I love when you tell me what's happening. So thank you.
Thank you. Love to see it. All right, guys. This one, we are the day after Survivor Series. I know
Funny.
for y'all, it's been about 2 weeks since the initial Survivor Series episode here. And then we had our After Dark Montreal Screwjob Part 1. And then this guy, and then look forward to Part 2 next week. And then, as you guys know, again, just a programming note, no longer have every episode of Monday Night Raw available to us. So
A
we
bummer.
will just kind of tell you where we're going to jump to next. So after the part 2 of the Montreal Screwjob, we are going to jump to the D-Generation X pay-per-view, which is going to be, I guess, the last of the, like, in your house series before we start getting to the just individually named pay-per-views.
Heard.
So
Which I think is the move.
end of an era. Yeah.
End of an era, but I think
It's
the reason there's a reason it's ending.
right. Yeah. We're moving on. The product has very much so shifted. Even in just looking at the little pictures of the episode descriptions as you're scrolling past looking for the one, you're like, whoa, update in productions.
There
Got it.
is some tonal changes, some
Right,
tonal
right.
shifts. Yes.
Definitely. Speaking of tonal shifts, this is our first episode of Monday Night Raw, sans Bret Hart. So this is the new reality as far as the show goes. For those of you who are not know, you've been new, we know. So also, if you're coming for us in the comment for talking about this in present tense when it happened 25 years ago.
Oh my God. I hate when people do that. I hate it.
They really came for Kelsey during a one clip that I put out because she was talking about Vader and she was using
You're
the
don't
present
they know
tense.
this guy's dead? I'm
I
like,
was like-
yeah, I do, bitch. Like, whatever. I just, whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just so silly.
It's new to Kelsey. It's new to wrestling. Kelsey is
And
new to
also-
wrestling.
And also, it's not like when I go, I don't know. It's not that. Sorry, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to explain, but it's just like I'm watching it in the
In real
moment.
time,
I'm not gonna,
yeah.
I'm not gonna keep hearkening on the fact that now in this 30 years later he's dead. Like, we
Right.
got it. We know. Like, let's
We know.
just
I'm enjoying the TV show as the TV show.
as the
Which,
TV show.
Again, if you're new here, we've said this before. If you're not new
Yeah.
here, you get it. We watch wrestling the way we watch
as God intended. I'm
Any
just
of your other television shows. All right,
period.
moving on.
And we gossip about it the same way.
No, fully, absolutely. This is like our like Real Housewives. I mean, I also partake in that to a certain extent, but this is very much so our these are our dolls and we love to watch them scrap.
No, 100%. This is where I quantify. I was just telling Xavier how much I love world building kind of things. Like I love a Lord of the Rings, I love a Star Wars, I love a Star Trek, I love like
Mm-hmm.
world building, Game of Thrones, like world building type of stuff. So this is just like another thing for me to like, these are my little characters, these are where they come from, this is their world,
Mm-hmm.
these like heels, baby faces, like
Everything in
I'm
between.
just building my universe.
Right.
Just let me do it.
Right, right, right. We're
Let me
kids in
do
the
it.
sandbox, all right?
Yeah.
So this episode begins with our new WWF champion being interviewed, sort of. This is the first time we're hearing the DX theme kind of in action.
Love.
Love it. Love to see it.
It's very,
Fantastic.
I thought
It's
it was legitimately Rage Against the Machine.
yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
similar. It's not,
It's that
obviously.
vibe. It's the well because it's very like it's very, late 90s. It's that whole
Love.
yeah, love to see it.
Yeah.
And it's just so iconic and just pervasive. Like it just is everywhere.
Yeah.
So we love to see it. We are still in Canada. Canada is still not over the events that have just happened. Again, just happened yesterday for them. So
Less than 24 hours.
they're really reeling, really reeling.
And there was
Um,
like signs you could tell like they had written on one side and then they had to
they
like write something else on the back because they had already made their signs and then suddenly it's like
oh
bring back
no.
Brett or like
Hmm.
can I spit on Vince McMahon? Like
Fully, which yes. And
yes.
so Canada's big pissed.
Hmm.
I do want to, since we're on the topic of signs, call out one that says I screwed HBK's mom, and then in parentheses, the dirty slut. And you're like, what is wrong with you?
The dirty
I was
slut.
like, you're also the dirty slut. It takes two
Okay,
to tango, fam. Takes
this is what
two.
I was gonna say because if she's the dirty slut, what are you?
Right. What are you
The
not catching?
the
Like,
hygienic gentleman? Like what does
right.
that mean?
Please,
Girl,
please.
please, please.
Oh, I don't know what high horse you're sitting on, sign guy, but you could take your unwashed somewhere else, okay?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
It just cracked me up. I was just like, damn, coming for his mama.
She's the dirty slut and you guys
And you're fine?
whatever.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Dem's man logic. Um,
I
Straight
hate
man
man
logic,
logic.
asterisk. Thank you.
Let me be clear.
I was like, I don't think like this. So shout out to China's Top for doing the Lord's work. She looks
Hey,
fantastic. Great for her. I
dripping in
think,
diamonds.
I love it because I feel like more and more, I think she's like, I don't know. I feel like more and more she's like adding elements of like femininity
Yes.
instead of just being like fucking bombarded every week because she has muscles. So
It's something I have always said about China since being introduced to her character is that what something I love about her so much is that she does not sacrifice an ounce of femininity. She's got her hair, she's got her mascara, she's got her blush. And not that that necessarily makes a woman a woman.
right.
I'm just saying she still engages in the things that she enjoys, despite the fact that she's like big and muscly and people are like, is she a man? Ugh.
Yeah,
Like
and
she's still
very in a like in especially
in
being in
her
such a male dominated field.
yes, in her glittery tops, in her like cute little numbers. Like I love her so much. There's something to me, and she never speaks. I don't even care. Like there's something just so electric about her and the way that she is. I
Right.
just love her.
Uh, me too. Me too. So basically the message from Shawn is that DX is on top of the world right now. Of course the crowd erupts into "We want Brett" chants. Um, basically Shawn doubles down on the "I beat Brett yesterday. He gave up." And
He
again,
was
I
squealing like a pig.
right. I listened to him squeal and then I ran his ass out of town. And again, I very much so, he was told to lie, and this is what we're
And
getting,
lie he did. Yeah.
and
I
lie he
mean,
did.
And it makes sense for his character to double down. Like, it just makes sense all around for this to be the way that he
Mhm.
moves forward with it. So it just is what it is.
Right. So, um, yeah. So then Shawn moves on, and he's basically just like, "Why am I better than everybody? Because I have the will to be the best. I just have the sheer determination to be that good, and nobody else does.
And
So that's why I'm the
honestly,
best."
the will to succeed is kind of not untrue. Like,
Correct.
we always say he's like very scrappy. He's the can't be put down Shawn Michaels. Like, it's mostly his will to keep going that keeps
Hmm.
him going. Like,
Right.
so it's not necessarily a lie.
No, absolutely. But he is interrupted by Ken Shamrock, who comes out in just some denim, just some light wash denim and no shirt. Love to see
Love,
it.
I love
I
light
could
wash
sing
denim.
I could sing that praises all day, but I'll refrain.
Thank
You
you.
I like what I like.
We'll
Anyway.
sing later.
Right, exactly. Another crowd sign to point out, we got a Sable 38 double E sign in the style of the Austin 316. I thought that shit was hilarious. I was like,
It is kind of
what are
funny.
you guessing? Like, that's crazy.
And
Um
honestly, like, just based on ratios that I'm aware of, that actually might be pretty accurate. Like,
I
if
mean,
I were
hey,
to guess, I
she might have
mean,
said it somewhere in like a previous interview or something, and we just like
and I
didn't.
would not be shocked if someone had asked her that in an interview.
No,
So,
absolutely. Especially again in where we
in these
are,
times,
surrounded by who we
yes.
are, surrounded by, yes.
Yes.
Um, so I thought this was hilarious. Sean like is before he gives the mic to Ken Shamrock, he basically like buries him. He's just like, "So I'm gonna give you the mic, and what I'd like you to do is string together a couple sentences called a sentence, or like a couple words called a
Words,
sentence."
that's what we call a
And I
sentence.
was like, "Oh my gosh."
And honestly, when the read is a little bit true.
A little bit close to home. Yes, as yeah, basically Sean's calling Ken out for not being the best on the mic. But again, Ken is very new here, also new to wrestling. So
Also new to wrestling. That's my kid.
absolutely. So he grabs the mic, and I always will say this, that he has like the same effect that like Mike Tyson has on me, whereas like the voice doesn't match the body. Like every time he speaks, I'm like, who? Who is
Who is
this?
saying that? No, it's so true.
Like
And it was
where
the
like
same
is he throwing his voice? Like what is this?
and it was the same effect I got from later when we meet him, Butterbean. Was that his name?
Butterbean. Yeah.
I was like, who is
Right.
that?
Right.
Okay. Shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Unexpected. You're so right for that.
Yeah. Every time it like throws me off. He really hits China with the some transphobic rhetoric real hard, right out the gate. Was really unnecessary. He really like stuck on that one for a long
I
time.
hate that. It's
And
so stupid.
I was like, it's low hanging fruit, as we know. So
And so it's crazy because you're saying like Sean is literally saying you're not good at like shooting off the hip, like being on the mic or whatever, and literally the only thing you got is for China, who literally hasn't said anything to you. Like she like a man or a woman, I don't know what you are. Ooh,
right.
wow, Ken. Like I literally was so excited
Mhm.
to see him, and then he opened his mouth and I went, "Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's a no for me. I've already clocked out. I'm not interested because I just again, low-hanging fruit. I'm bored. This isn't even the target person you're trying to come for. I don't understand and I don't care.
Right.
Sorry."
Yep, pretty much that. And then he goes on with the promo for like a little bit, and then there's one part where he goes, "And you, Sean, with your beautiful hair and your sexy chest," and you're
Uh,
like, and you're
we
like,
were like,
"Do you want us to fucking go? Like, are you good? Would you like the room?"
yeah,
Um,
like we can, hey, let's take this to the back. That's
because
okay.
I've definitely said those exact words like to a man before. So there's like no way that like like you didn't know what you were saying as you were saying it.
You and your plush lips and your gorgeous pecs and your
Right. No, that's
um
very how it
arms.
read. Very how it read. And you're like,
Yeah.
you got a little crap?
I
You're
swear
like,
there was a tweet circulating and they linked it up with like Wicked where it was like this girl was saying I was in the closet in middle school and she's like and I had such this insane crush on this girl. I just wrote her a note that said get out of my school.
get out of my school. That's amazing. That's hilarious.
And that's the same energy it gave. It's like I just love him so much. I'm like, I guess we're gonna fight.
No, so crazy. It's yeah, it's bully or crush. So yeah. And then Shawn grabs the microphone and makes a point to be like, this woman could knock you out any day of the week. And we're like, oh, love to see it. Thank you.
And JR goes, I doubt it.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know about that. And you're like,
Silence
JR.
from the peanut
I
gallery.
was
And
like,
then
I know realistically that like Ken Shamrock is like a professional fighter, but it's also like you knew what Shawn was doing.
yeah,
Just
shut up. Let him
like
have it.
right. Yeah, it was like, okay. Um, then Commissioner Slaughter comes out, and Shawn, of course, is like, ah, yes, it's chinny chin chin. And you're like, oh, okay. And he's like, all right, what do you got to say, Sergeant Slobber? Like, and he does essentially the same
So
thing
funny.
he does to Ken, but to Slaughter. I almost said Slobber again. And he's like, um, you're here, you're gonna talk. I'm not really trying to get rained on, so if you could direct your commentary to the other participants, that'd be swell. And I
Insane.
live for it. I live for a
Live.
running joke. I love to take a joke way too far. I love making glue. So, so yeah. I think it's great, and it's gonna continue, and it's actually just gonna involve props at some point, and I can't wait.
Oh, love.
Yeah, so it is announced that Ken Shamrock will be taking on HBK for the WWF Championship at the D-Generation X pay-per-view, which is going to happen on December 7th. So in about 3 weeks from this episode. Um, Slaughter's like, you will have a match tonight, or Shawn asks Sergeant Slaughter first, when? Like, when am I supposed to be doing this? He thinks it's happening tonight, and then he tries to be all like, actually, I would love to, but I'm was literally just in a match yesterday, so
I'm just like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Oh gosh. I'd love to. Any other time. Any
no,
other time.
yeah.
But
You know, just typical heel work. And
yeah.
then, uh, oh, sorry. So. Then Sergeant Slaughter basically announces that it's going to be Hunter taking on Ken Shamrock in the main event, and that GX is going to be banned from ringside.
Ooh.
His favorite move. Um,
Banning the
so
girls.
yeah, honestly. And then these next like three matches were basically just like fast and furious into each other. I was like, oh, okay, we just had 30 minutes of them gabbing in the
Oh
ring,
my
and now we gotta
God.
play catch up. That
I said to
segment was
Xavier,
30 minutes long.
I was like, am I crazy or is like, because we haven't watched an episode of Raw in a minute because we had the pay-per-view, then we're watching all the Brett stuff. So I was like, have I just been out of the game for a minute or was this like inordinately long, like excessively long? Like at one point I
Yeah,
was like,
this segment definitely was a long time.
and I'm part of me is like, is it because there's chaos because of what happened last night? Like people are quitting, people are fighting, people are like whatever. Like, is it just chaos? So they're like, I don't know, get out there. And if anyone can talk for 30 minutes, it's Shawn Michaels. So
Right,
I
right.
mean, but I was like, are we
What?
gonna watch wrestling today or
Or what?
can
And
we
the
carve
answer
out
is
some time?
sort of.
Sort
So,
of, literally.
so in our first contest, we have Marc Mero with Sable. He's taking on Ahmed Johnson. Sable comes out like in a full like leather
Full
head to
suit.
toe and with the whip. I was like,
He's got
okay.
that whip.
I was like, where's the rest of the bag, Dominatrix? Damn, like this is great.
Period.
Like this
I
is
need to hear the bag with the jingling in it
no
and wonder,
100%.
having the questions, what's in there.
She looked amazing, of
She,
course.
as usual, I didn't. This is so stupid. I didn't love her earrings, but everything else was great.
I honestly didn't notice her earrings. So, um,
Too busy looking at other things. She's
sh-
gorgeous, gorgeous lady.
right. Of course, naturally, we get a Sable chant multiple times throughout the match. I love it. I live for it.
And
But
period.
it all leads into, and I love that this like the character for Marc Mero is that like I like that they're using the fact that she's so much more popular than him, like as a storyline. Where it's just like,
Period.
what else are you gonna do? You could either you could let her outshine you, or you can try and make something out of it because she's gonna do it either way.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying. You can't stop it.
so you might as well at least get some TV time out of the deal.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying.
so I have a note that just says this match feels lazy. It feels like neither one of them like wanted to do it.
No.
Like it just like in I'm just mean like transitions of moves, like slow to like throw hit the ropes. Like it was just like a weird like it just felt like neither participant really wanted to do it.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was like one of
punches didn't
those.
look that great. Like I don't know. It just felt like with the parties involved and the experience they both have, I
I'm
thought it was going to
saying
be a bit more.
something a bit
Uh,
more. It felt like when those commercials like this is your brain on drugs. Like,
right. No,
whoa.
fully.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe not quite that dramatic, but it definitely felt I was literally like,
right. I smoked weed
what's
one time and now
happening?
I'm gay. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
No, whatchamacallit? I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know, lazy is the
Yeah.
best way I can describe it. The match ends when Marc Mero hits a low blow on Ahmed Johnson. He is caught by the referee, apparently.
This is like a
Marc
thing.
Mero has been doing this the last couple of weeks and has finally got caught. So
Because
Ahmed Johnson
apparently,
wins by
or
D.
oh, sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
I also want to say Jim Cornette was on
On
commentary and
commentary.
he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, he's been getting away with it for too long and the ref has finally caught him. Like
Right.
as
And
if
you're
he
like,
was like the band like a bandit.
as if he's like not, as if he hasn't spent his entire career hanging on the ring apron in somebody else's match with a tennis racket.
Girl, listen, you spotty, you got it.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So then we very quickly get Sunny as our guest ring announcer, and Brian Christopher is announced on commentary for this next match. We
I
have talked.
didn't deserve this.
Nobody deserved this.
Uh,
We had Taka Michinoku taking on Devon Storm. Um, we're in the throes of the tournament. Haven't really seen much of the tournament. Again, missed a bunch of episodes of Raw, but that's okay. The finals are what's important, and the finals will probably be at a pay-per-view. So,
period.
um, uh, Taka Michinoku, the most beautiful moonsault I've ever seen. That was like
You know who
it
clocked
looked
in
in
today was
slow
Taka.
motion. Slow. He clocked in today.
Clocked
Absolutely.
in today.
He punched that card. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic. Oh, that was weird. Uh, for those of you who can't see or who are not watching, I'm gonna do one of these guys. Hold on. Oh, can you see it?
The Rock?
Yeah, it's The Rock.
Is he new?
Yeah, it was a
Love.
gift from Lee.
Oh,
Lee of the
yay.
Geeks Who Like Sports podcast and other things.
Kylie.
Got me a new Rock poster for my office, the little set. Um, I like
Love
that
it.
the camera freaked out while I moved it. It was like
I know it was like
no, no,
it
I
was like
fully and I accidentally like grazed the power button while I was doing risky business, guys. I
risky
really I
business.
thought I was just about to do some dirty work right there and just screw myself over, but hey, we're good.
We're good. We're back in.
We're
Wow,
good, we're
I
good.
love that. Thanks, Lee.
Anyway, thank you for joining me on that tangent. Yeah, Taka Michinoku, most beautiful moonsault I've ever seen. Devon Storm looks like a Disney Channel villain in some tights. But not
Yes.
like a Disney Channel original movie villain, like just like an angry teen. You know what I mean?
He
Not
looked
like someone from like Brink or like
he looked
motocross.
exactly like one of the suitors for Merida's hand in Brave. Like he
Wow.
looked exactly like the one guy and he had literally the same facial structure, the nose, the hair with the like the he looked exactly like him. And the only reason I know is because I watched Brave maybe like a month or two ago
Heard.
and it same energy. It was so strange. I was like,
Love
is
that.
this character based on him? So weird. But
No, yeah, really, yeah. I don't know. It just felt like a kid almost. It
and
just
Devon Storm with and it for some reason it's neon tights like makes no sense. Like what about like thunderstorms or like, you know what I mean? Lightning strikes, like something different with the, I don't know.
Hey,
The
I don't
branding
know.
wasn't there for me.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like I don't know. It's just like he just looked like a kid. I don't know. But I have most of my notes are honestly about Brian Christopher on commentary, because it's so
He was very
distracting.
distracting.
The laugh does not need to be heard.
Nope.
Brian Christopher can't say Taka Michinoku's name. Annoying.
Yep.
Even though the two other commentators are saying it repeatedly, you've heard it because you've been in the ring with him,
Yep.
and no excuse. You
No
should be able
excuse.
to figure out because they call him out. Literally, I said it and then JR said it. It was fantastic.
Love.
Where I was like, yeah, maybe you could learn to like say his name, and then JR goes like, maybe you could learn to say his name, and I was like, bitch, I know,
Read
I
his
know, and he's like, I
mind.
don't speak Japanese, and I was like, you don't need to speak Japanese to say someone's name correctly. That's
And,
that's crazy.
and I don't even think it's that hard of a name.
It's
Michinoku? I don't think it's that hard.
it's spelled how it sounds.
And
Like there,
yes.
yeah, like it is there really isn't that much room for error. Just say if you're dumb, just say you're dumb. Like
Yeah, seriously. And that's
uh,
okay. That's
and that's
fine.
and
And
that's
we can't
okay.
all have two first names. Brian Christopher.
Honestly, Brian Christopher. Um Taka hits like a spinning heel kick off from the top rope and hits Devon Storm like in the knees.
In the
It
shin,
looked
like it was
like
very
it
strange.
looked crazy. During that whole like fiasco, Brian Christopher like jumps on the apron to get in Taka's face, gets drop kicked for his troubles.
Period.
Uh Taka hits the Michinoku driver. I love that move.
God, it's
And
crazy.
wins the match, advancing in the tournament. And then he climbs back up on the top rope, and he's like, "Oh, you want to get involved in my business? Oh, how about this?" And just throws himself off, like leaps
So
onto Brian
crazy.
Christopher, and he's like, "How about that? How
10
about
out of
some of that?"
10. Like
He's
I
like, "Hey,
literally
if you're gonna be about it, be about it. Like if
be
you're gonna come
about
be
it.
involved, then welcome, you're
That's what I'm
involved."
saying. And I'm just the way that Taka is, I wanted to be like, I'm sorry, are any like Olympic like referees around? Like this man, get this man in the gymnast portion of the Summer Olympics. He is incredible.
He's incredible.
He's
Yeah.
so amazing. And I will
Mhm.
say Devon Storm, although the branding of the character didn't really work for me, I think he was a good opponent for him.
I
I feel
know he
like
did. I think he did well. Yeah, because he
this
was
was
like bigger than Taka, but not like so big that it's like not fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like there are
yes,
some matches where
100%.
like the mismatch is too crazy, and you're like, oh okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was great.
I love this.
All in all, a fine match.
And I love to
Um,
watch Brian Christopher get just completely wrecked for his
no,
troubles. So
100%.
fun.
Next we get a backstage segment with Michael Cole trying to get a hold of Bradshaw. Bradshaw's freaking the fuck out. Like I like freaking out. Most personality I've seen out of him to date.
Ever.
Um, like
Literally.
literally this whole time.
I had no
Um,
idea he had it in him.
no,
I was like,
wow. So apparently there's some commotion going on in the locker room. The New Age Outlaws take out the other blackjack. I can't remember his name. So here we are.
oh God, it's Bradshaw and I want to say Hawk, but that's not his name.
No, no.
Damn. Sorry, boy. The new Blackjacks, whatever.
Hold on. No, I got this. I got this. I got this. Everyone's gonna be like, "You dumb bitches."
New to wrestling, indeed.
And the thing is, I'm not. I just uh oh yeah. Barry Windham. That's who it is.
Wyndham. Who's remembering that girl? Sorry. I
It's a pretty
mean,
famous family, actually. So I don't know if you
oh,
know. No. It's in wrestling. It's a famous family. You wouldn't know them outside of wrestling. Um, but I'm pretty sure that Bray Wyatt and his brother are both related to, are in the Wyndham family because his last name is Wyndham.
years.
Yeah. Fun
Okay.
facts. So Bradshaw's bugging. More on that later. Next, we have the Truth Commission, Recon and Sniper to be specific, taking on the Headbangers. The Headbangers are joined by all of the disciples of the apocalypse, which I was not expecting. Although I guess it kind of makes sense because
I
they had
guess.
had beef during the Survivor Series, them being the disciples and the Truth Commission, because the interrogator and his fat neck took everybody out. So I guess they're mad and just making sure that no shenanigans go on.
It's just hard to see someone you love so deeply pair up with someone you don't
You
like at
hate
all.
though, yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
guess like the biker gang and the mosh kids, like sure, like there's some crossover there, I suppose, but
Yeah, but again, it's really like to me it seems like the enemy of my enemy is
my
my friend.
enemy is yes.
Which I hope that's all there is
Hate
to
by
it.
proxy.
Right. So again, we'll see. Jackal is on commentary. Jackal, for those of you who don't know, if you watch AEW today, he is Don Callis. He is has his faction, the Don Callis family, Kyle Fletcher, Hobbs, all of them are in that. So he is and I will give him his due. The man can speak. For all do I like any of the garbage that's coming out of his mouth? No. But he speaks intelligently and coherently and actually, and you kind of do get the oh, this man could be a cult leader. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
totally.
usually cult leaders are you're charismatic, well-spoken, you know, guys. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, that's kind of his shtick on commentary, is to convince us all that that's kind of the modus operandi of the
Operandi. Mhm.
Truth Commission, is that basically Jackal's the cult leader and they're here to save everyone because everyone is heinous. And you're like,
Mm.
oh, that's great. Which seems a
Okay.
stretch, but
Sure.
especially considering we
Absolutely.
had a whole other leader 3 weeks ago, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, JR being cunty to Jackal, love it.
Love.
Loved it.
He was really sassy boots today, but I wonder if that's like again like runoff from just being irritated about what happened the day before because he
Right.
wasn't in on it and he was like pissed.
I don't
So today he
know.
just woke up and put on his like sassy boots and was like, "Well,
No,
I'm gonna be
fully.
a menace
Because
today."
Jackal jumps on the apron, gets knocked down, and then rejoins commentary. And JR's like, well, thank God you're back. I
Oh
don't know
gosh.
what we would have done the rest of the match had you not come back to commentary. Thank you,
Oh God.
Jackal. Thank you. I was like, oh, damn. I was like,
So fierce. He's like, "Well, well, thank goodness." God, that is so funny.
so crazy. We have another spot a little bit farther down in the match where Thrasher basically gets knocked out on his feet and lands just head first into Recon Sniper, doesn't matter, one of their testicles, just full face down right in there. Um Hilarious. They follow that up with a headbangers, like power bomb one, power bombs the other.
Love.
Um and Yeah. So then the Headbangers win the match. They pick up the victory there. Then, of course, all of the Truth Commission comes in. And then, of course, all of the Disciples of the Apocalypse come in. And we are just in another brawl, as
I
per
will I will say on the headbangers side, the strategy is good. I mean, there's three members of the Truth Commission, I'm not counting Jackal, and there's two of them and then four members of the DOA. So
numbers.
numbers,
Right.
strength in numbers.
We love to see it. Um, Next, we have a interview with our new Intercontinental Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Comes out looking like a snack, little black
Uh,
shorts, little black vest,
yeah,
chain, hat,
yeah.
$1,000,000.
Mm.
Anyway,
And he holds
um,
the belt like he's just like, I don't give a shit about this. Like he's always just
this is
like
yeah,
carrying it like to the side like it's a jacket. Like
no, full it's
so funny
accessory.
to me.
Because I think in to me, it always seems Stone Cold is the school of thought that the man makes the title doesn't make the man. So,
Ooh,
some people get the title
ooh.
and expect the title to do all the work. No, baby, I'm gonna make the title. So
Oh, that's
I feel like Stone Cold carries it like I'm gonna make this title. I don't need this
ooh.
title, but I'm gonna carry it around.
It's so hot in here all of a sudden.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
um,
A man who
so
works for the title. Ooh, wow.
so crazy.
Fierce.
So basically he goes, I proved at SummerSlam I'm back. I'm proved that I can sit on
Which,
my ass for 3 months and drink beer, waltz my ass right back in, and take back my title. Why? Because I'm that bitch, is essentially the promo. And you're like,
period.
not, no, no, no.
Not no. Not no. Broken neck.
So love to
Snatched
see
it
it.
anyway.
So he is interrupted by Rocky the Rock Maivia of the Nation of Domination. Love to see it. We are in the transition to the Rock full time.
He said it.
We're getting little glimpses of the personality.
You could
It's
tell.
starting to turn. And it's fun because this is like first interactions between the Rock and Stone Cold, and they are the feud. Like, as far as the two wrestlers to look out for the next 2 years of this show, it is The Rock and it is Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, you're
Okay.
also going to get Mick Foley, Triple H is going to come into his own, and then, of course, we always have the staples of Kane and The Undertaker. But as far as like the two guys that are going to be competing to be like the guy,
The
it's The
guy.
Rock and it's Austin.
Okay, fierce. Because I did want to say while you mentioned Triple H, somebody had a sign that said Triple H, a mid Carter for life, and I
Could
wanted to be
not have
like,
been more
you
wrong.
have no idea because you know what
No,
I thought of
hindsight
that
though.
whoop, that match with Sting, and he comes out as like the Terminator, and he just, oh, I
Yeah,
still think about that. That
that's
entrance was
crazy.
so fierce.
So
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, I was like, wow, could not be more wrong. But you
Hey,
never know.
yeah,
You never know.
you never know. You never know. So basically, The Rock comes out and he's like, the general consensus, I don't know if anybody's told you, they think I was the best Intercontinental Champion ever. And you're like, okay,
Listen, delusion.
that,
Delusion will take you someplace. I don't know if it's good, but it'll
no,
take you
not
someplace.
necessarily positive, but it's somewhere.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so we get a Rocky Sucks chant, of course.
Duh.
Um, and basically, he tells Stone Cold Steve Austin is like, basically, I'm gonna take it, and then all that's gonna be said about you is you're just a has-been. Compliments of The Rock. Bye. And you're
Crazy.
like, oh, love to see it. And then of course, The Rock challenges Stone Cold for the Intercontinental Championship, and Steve's like, I got some challenges for you. I challenge you to get a decent haircut. I challenge you, since you're a piece of crap, to flush yourself down the drain. Yeah, it was crazy. He's like, if you wanted a match, all you had to do was ask and sign the like the little piece of paper. And you don't suck because the crowd says you do. You suck because Stone Cold said so. Boom.
The
Ends
crowd
it.
erupts.
That's amazing.
Erupts. I just want to say a bald man telling you you need a decent haircut would shatter me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
bald man saying go get a decent haircut, I would.
He's not blind. Just because he can't grow hair doesn't mean he doesn't have eyes. It's the follically challenged. Just because they can't grow hair doesn't mean they can't appreciate a good haircut. Like, it's not their fault. You're like a bald man, as
I'm just
if
saying, when was the last time you got a decent haircut other than shaving it bald? Like, what do you know about it? Like, that's what would get me.
he's got no hair.
That's what I'm saying. What do you know about a decent haircut?
So
You're
he's never had a
bald.
haircut ever before?
I'm saying.
Was he even living under
Follicularly
a rock?
challenged.
So
He's
funny.
living under the rock. Just kidding.
That's
And
we
no,
all are.
I'm just saying the haircut's not even that bad. But
It's fine, but I get it.
again,
You
that
do what you
is
gotta
so
do.
funny.
Um, Next, I'm excited for that. Love
I
to see the
know
two of them
the
beefing.
personality. I'm excited because I feel like he came out and he was already so different.
Right.
So different. I'm such a huge fan of this. Like even just this little inkling. And this is the first time I've ever heard him address himself as The Rock, unless I missed it. Like
Right. I
I
mean,
don't think
yeah.
I've ever heard him do
No,
it, at least at this time. So this is extremely exciting. We're
I
like really
agree.
here. I keep saying that the last like 5 episodes, I'm like, we're here, guys. We
No,
made
we're in
it.
the thick of it now. Like we are
Into
in
the
the
thick of
thick of
it.
so yeah, it's very exciting.
So
We get
exciting.
a interview with JR. He interviews Steve Blackman. Um
Oh,
basically about yeah, basically about his performance at Survivor Series. And he's like, I feel like I helped the team, I'm not really a wrestler, but I did what I could. And you're like, okay, humble king, love to see it.
I
Um,
know.
and
What
then
is that?
by this point, the Boricuas had come out because they, I guess, had a match scheduled or were gonna have a match. One of the Boricuas takes great offense to Steve Blackman being interviewed during their time. He comes over and lets Steve Blackman know just that.
Which I kind
Um,
of get. Like, this isn't about you right now, but
uh,
okay.
yeah, I mean, sure, but it's also I,
It's not that serious.
no, yeah, but it's also I doubt it was his decision to be interviewed right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, it wasn't even his decision to be a wrestler. He just keeps getting pulled out here.
No, apparently. Yeah. So the one of the members of the Bricos gets in his face. They start just absolutely brawling, and then Blackman just beats them all up. Takes off his shirt, thank God,
Oh,
and
the two of us are pigs, by the way.
oh, listen. We have lived in the country we live in where the objectification of women has just been the standard. We are just doing what Kesha taught us to do, and that is to objectify them right back.
Period. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you.
And that's the platform Xavier will be running on next election. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank God he took his shirt off.
God, he's gorgeous.
Because yeah, wow,
I don't
wow.
know what it is about him that like he just got that big arm and then that I don't know. He took his shirt
He's
off and I just blacked out. I
no
don't know.
100%. I could picture myself being a cat, just curling up and purring and calling it a night. I just
The way you went like this, you're like,
mm. I was channeling my cat.
I know
Is
I
what-
loved it. Oh, I
um
love Maple.
Oh, me too. She's a menace.
Menace.
I fully had a small panic attack because I thought I was very in and out of the house the other morning. Um, and I thought I couldn't find her right before I left for the day. And I was
Um,
I had a moment where I was like, did I let her out into the world?
oh my God.
Because
And
my
Maple would
cat
take
wants to
over.
be in the world, has no skills. No
No,
skills.
none.
She is a clumsy bitch and will get wrecked quickly. But she always thinks that she belongs out there. And I'm like,
Again, delusion.
delusion. It's gonna take you somewhere.
Yep.
So can't wait to see more of Steve Blackman. Can't wait to see more of Steve Blackman.
More Steve
Um
Blackman. And he just took that shirt off and he was just wearing sweats.
love,
Oh, I just got to chill. Woo.
love is in the air. Pigs. Anyway.
Pigs at the trough, girl.
uh
Sweet.
um, that's crazy.
I'm
Um,
sorry. It's
uh,
right there.
and you chose to click on it. So next, we have a little interview with the New Age Outlaws. Finally, Road Dogg is allowed to just be himself. This is Road Dogg that I've been waiting for.
I know. You've really been speaking so highly of him for so
He's
long. I'm
so
excited.
funny. He's just a funny guy. We now know that one, they're going by the New Age Outlaws. They're getting in all the tag teams' business. They're stealing shit from everybody. They're being menaces. Billy Gunn is now Mr. Ass. Love to see it.
Which
And
is
and
so
Double
crazy.
J, Jesse James is now Road Dogg. Love to see it.
I just
Because
want
he
to
used to be the
say,
roadie when he was um Jeff Jarrett's like flunky. Like he was his roadie.
oh, I
So
forgot that that
yes,
was a
so this
thing.
is like a kind of iteration on that. Like
Okay.
same character technically updated.
I'm into that. Well, it also works with New Age Outlaws. I do love the name, the New Age Outlaws. I think that's fierce. Um, I
Yeah,
just think it's so funny that they come for HBK for being so sexual, and meanwhile, Billy Gunn is literally going by Mr. Ass.
yes, and that's actually very fun.
Mr. Ass.
Very funny because the New Age Outlaws will eventually become part of DX. So it's a good fit.
The pipeline.
Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
it's not until we still have a ways. It's not until we lose
That makes
Shawn.
sense to me though.
Yeah.
Like
It,
they're
it's
little
a it's a
menaces.
good fit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good
The
fit.
one and the one equals two.
Yeah. So something to look forward to. Sorry, I spoiled that for whoever didn't know.
Fair.
So next we have the New Age Outlaws taking on Bradshaw. This bunkhouse brawl, has now become a handicap match, and Bradshaw looked so good. He came in, he like threw powder in the Road Dogg's face. He's just like started kicking the shit out of the both of them, like all over the ring, all over the ring.
And he
It was
didn't come
great.
out in the fit except the boots.
No,
I loved that. He was
just,
wearing like civilian clothes and then he put on his like little cowboy boots.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm here to fight. I'm not here
And
to
he literally got
wrestle. I'm here to
he walked out
fight."
so mad and then he literally went like
No,
it was so fierce. I was like,
absolutely.
yes. He
We
said
love.
handicapped, handy capable.
Amen. So sorry, fam. You gotta go it alone. Bradshaw's kicking their ass, absolutely killing it. I love
Killing
that
it.
he at one point is on the outside of the ring kicking their ass, and he takes the timekeeper's like table, little makeshift table, and throws the entire thing at Road Dogg. The entire thing. And then the
So
table
funny.
just like disintegrates. It just starts falling apart. And I cackled. I lost it because it's just the sight of a miniature table going like picture your side table of your bed just getting thrown at someone's head
And
because
then
like
just
and just exploding on impact. Like,
But the best part was maybe not the best part, but a part that I enjoyed was that the
mhm.
timekeeper's table has almost like a tablecloth over it. So the first thing he did was take the tablecloth, like whip it off, like be our guest style, and like whip it into the crowd. It was like a magician like revealing something, and he like whipped it into the crowd and then picked up the timekeeper's table and then chucked it
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
like fierce. Like he was just like, so he, some lucky fan has like the timekeeper green tablecloth or something. And then
Right.
that disintegrated. And then, so he hits him, Jesse, no, he hits Road Dogg with the table and then immediately hits him with a steel chair, like really
Really hard.
hard.
Really
Like
hard.
I felt that in my teeth. Like it hurt really bad.
Mm. Amen. Amen. So, the match continues, more chaos in the ring. Eventually, Billy Gunn hits a swinging GDT off the top rope into a lying steel chair, and then both members of the New Age Outlaws cover Bradshaw for the win. So, again, just more of the New Age Outlaws being menaces, kind of getting their way. I think this is a really great way of like introducing them as a tag team and then bolstering them up, kind of like making their way up the line. I think they're doing a good job. So, well, more of the New Age Outlaws as it unfolds. That brings us into a what is the second part of hello, the second part of the Jeff Jarrett interview, a la Mick Foley. That it's the same kind of setup, or I think that's what they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a
basically,
character study.
basically, JR is asking Jeff Jarrett, like, "Hey, like, do you think you're worth the money that we're paying for you?" Because
Which is
he's,
an insane question to ask, by the way.
but yes, yes, because I think what prompted it is because he's coming back from WCW, so he left the WWF in early 95, 94, 95. Goes to WCW for, more money as everybody else did, and then
Right.
comes back. So it's like, um, I feel like the WWE is trying to do a little bit of like, oh, I guess the money isn't everything, type of deal.
Oh, heard.
You know what I mean? So basically, Jeff Jarrett goes like, "You're honestly getting Jeff Jarrett for a bargain." And honestly, this is kind of the thing with, I mean, and Jeff Jarrett still wrestles to this day. He's retiring this year.
Oh.
He's quite a character. But in JR's book, and it seems like this is to be true, the general consensus is that Jeff Jarrett uh let's sips his own Kool-Aid a little too hard. Thinks he is a bigger star than he is. And that is just
Mm-hmm.
kind of the tale
You can
of
feel
Jeff
it.
Jarrett in the WWF.
You can
Is
feel it.
that he thinks he's a bigger star, they do not.
Ooh.
They think he's a fine worker. They think, you know what I mean? Like he gets the job done. The star? You are not. I'm
And
sorry, you have
again,
Stone Cold. Do you
oh,
see the amount of signs and the way that these people lose their minds every time he comes out? Do you see whether they love him or hate him, the way they react to Shawn Michaels? You don't have that. Like,
you
I'm
don't have
sorry.
that.
And
I'm
it's like, and it's
sorry.
like you can't manufacture that. Like, just
No,
because you could be, again, and we've talked about this before, you be the most talented person in the world. If you're not connecting, it don't mean dick. It
it
doesn't
don't mean
matter.
dick. Indifference is a career killer. You've always said that.
Right. So if they don't care, like they don't care.
And
So
again, delusion
basically,
will take you someplace, but it's not always good.
yeah. And then JR asked him a lot about Bret Hart, which I thought was kind of annoying because it's like, hi, what does he have
He's
to do
not
with
here.
any of that?
And obviously they must have filmed this before the Montreal Screwjob, but also we still knew he was leaving. So why are we talking about him so much? Like, what do you think of him as an opponent? What do you think of it?
Right.
Like, what does it matter? He's
Hmm.
going to be gone whether he was screwed out of the belt or not. Either way, he was not going to be there.
Right.
So what
Yeah.
are we
And then
doing?
they like played this like weird word association game.
Which he
And
didn't do well at either.
right, because it's supposed
Like,
to be like an instantaneous thing, you know?
yeah,
There's a lot of pausing.
it was very strange.
Yeah. He called Triple H a tag along. He called in reference to Eric Bischoff, he said right place, right time, right wallet. Fair.
Fierce, though.
I did
That was
appreciate
fierce.
that one. But yeah, I like Jeff Jarrett fine, but I also think he is, you know, under the I'm under the same school of thought that yes, he sips his own Kool-Aid a little bit, especially at this time.
You can tell.
Mm-hmm. Bargain. Get out of here. Next we have a little interview segment with Michael Cole and Butterbean. Butterbean, winner of like multiple like 12 tough man competitions, boxer. I'm pretty sure he fought Evander Holyfield at some point. Um, he big fan of Raw, big fan of ugly sweaters. Was was there, yeah. So he was
Love
getting
that.
interviewed. He's like, yeah, having a great time. Yeah, me and my kids love Raw, blah, blah, blah. Marc Mero's music comes out, and Michael Cole's like, that's weird. And I was like, don't say anything, just let it happen. I was like, Miro gets in Butterbean's face and he's like, if you want to interview like a real boxer, like interview me. And then he kind of goes on this like weird diatribe where he talks about Sable and how Butterbean was like, I guess, ogling her. And you're like, is that what happened? Because I'm I don't know. It just
Also,
this
if it did happen, it happened like 45 minutes ago. Like,
right.
when was the last time you were out here besides the first match of the night? Like,
And it's like, oh, so you just been back there what, stewing? Like
delayed reaction? Like, what is this? It was so weird. I just don't think this was done well. Like, I like I understand it's part of the character, like what direction he's going in, but this made no sense.
right. Well, or at the very least, catch on camera what you think to be the perceived slight.
And hit the replay
No,
and be
give me
like, was
something.
that not you ogling my wife? Like, I don't know. Like,
Give me,
something. I
yeah,
need
it's
evidence.
because there was no like inciting incident, it just felt crazy. Which I
Yes.
mean,
And like,
sure,
but I
but
wanted
like
to, I would
crazy.
rather it like evidence where it's like Butterbean literally like glanced at her and he's like, see? Like, I
No,
want
give me
that crazy.
something.
I want that crazy, not like completely baseless accusations, like just
Right.
hearsay. I want like minuscule, like mountains out of molehills crazy.
Right, which is fine. Again, for wrestling, perfect.
Perfect. And again, like, why not do this in the beginning then? Like during his match, like literally stop and be like, "Are you looking at my wife?"
Right,
Like,
say like yeah, you finish your match,
you
did the
dragged him
whole
all the way back out here for this.
right.
I just
And
didn't. It made no sense.
yeah, very
And
weird.
her coming out, walking with him. I feel like if we're gonna do it, confront him. Sable runs out like, "Hey, like, chill out." Like she literally walked out there just to be like, "What are
Yeah.
you guys fighting about? Like, what's happening?" I
Mm,
don't know. Just not
very
well done,
weird.
in my
No,
opinion.
I no, I'm right there with you. So uh Marc Mero calls him the Pillsbury Doughboy of boxing, and he says that I'm Superman. And you're like, all right.
You get
Which
it, grip.
just was not, I wasn't really here for it. Don't really get it. I could never see an interaction between the two of them again, and it would be fine.
And they
I'd be
didn't
fine.
even fight.
Yeah.
At least like have Butterbean take a shot at him. Like, I don't
Right. Like
know. Just
swing. Like give me something.
something stupid, stupid.
You trying to tell me that this like tough man competition winner like would just let someone get in his face and not do anything? That seems crazy.
Hello? Yeah, made no sense.
Doesn't seem the type, but what do I know? Next we have our boy the Undertaker taking on Kama Mustafa. Love to see it.
I love to
Um,
see two big boys just
going at it.
yeah.
I love it because they're both homies. They trust each other. They know each other well. Again, we didn't. This was like honestly like 2 minutes of wrestling.
Swear.
Like
And I
it.
knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah. Again, 2 minutes of wrestling, and then
4 minutes of Kane.
the lights go out. I love it. We get the Kane music. We get the Kane red.
I love it.
Paul Bearer is, of course, present. He's on the
Mm.
microphone. He goes, "Dead man." He's like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you, zombie." And you're like, "Oh, geez." Um, Basically, he's like, "It would be too easy for us to walk down there and send you to eternal damnation, but Kane wants you to suffer, like you made him suffer." Um, so he's like, "So you must face your brother one on one, no bullshit, no interference, no whatever." And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
and Undertaker grabs the mic and he's like, "Paul, shut up, or I will go down there and rip your throat out." And you're like,
Period.
and I believe it because it's just like because my voice does not do it justice. His voice is so deep and gravelly, and
Yep.
he had just finished wrestling, so he's like extra exasperated. So I was like, oh no, he
Mm.
he will run up there.
Yep.
Um, he's like, "Kane, like this isn't the time, like this isn't the place, and that bulbous figure next to you is nothing but an infectious disease, and
Period.
he's clearly poisoned your mind." And he's like,
Crazy.
"Don't come to me as an enemy, come to me as my brother and join me." Um, and then he goes on to reiterate the fact that like, I will never fight you. Like I'm not trying to play this game with you.
Mm-hmm.
And
You will.
yeah, well, this is
You
wrestling.
will.
And then he turns his attention to Paul and he's like, "Paul, you will pay for what you're doing." And I love that. I was like,
And
"Ooh,
I believe him. And I want to say I needed this because I like when Undertaker got on the mic, it was like, okay, hold on. Shut up. I will rip your throat out. I was like, yes, remind the girls who you are. I know Kane is Kane, whatever, but we're also, he is your little brother. You
right,
are the phenom. Like, I also needed this because I love Kane so much and he really just like took me to a place and I've just really been like captivated by it. But I was like, remind the girls that you are not one of these bitches. Like,
right.
I like get
You are
like
not Sarah plain and tall, bitch, just waiting for shit to
Allah, just
happen to
tall,
you.
just
No,
tall.
no,
Like, just
no,
like, what do
bitch.
you? He's like, no, 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 life's not happening to me. I'm happening to life. I am the dead man, the undead, risen again. I will eviscerate you. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, I'm back online. I'm back here. Here I am. Like I needed this also because again, Kane just like took me by storm and I had to remember that they are literally blood. They're kin. Like what Kane gets is also like within the Undertaker. And we've seen
Right.
it. I've seen the proof in the pudding.
Right.
So happy to see this. I don't for a second believe we're never gonna fight. Okay. Like even just
Right.
as siblings, like we're gonna fight. Like
Right.
generally. So
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, but I love Kane's music. I love everything about it. And I hate to say it, I love Paul Bearer's role in this. I actually
Yes,
feel
I
like
think
he's
he's doing a
doing
really
it
good
so
job.
well. Because even like Kane gets mad at one point and all Paul Bearer does, like he's like kind of behind him and he just goes like with his hand like over his chest, like barely, and Kane just like kind of stops. And I was
Right.
like, oh, like I don't
Oh,
know, it's chilling.
like
He's so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
scary.
because it gives like Paul brainwashed him. And you know what I mean? Like only
Yes.
Paul can like get to him.
Control.
You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it feels. And then Paul closes out the promo by being like, okay, well, we're gonna continue just fucking shit up, and that's on you. So you can just like see the havoc that we're going to reap and just know it's your fault. Like, and you're
Yep.
like, oh, I
And
love it.
I love it. And I had that moment where I was like, does Undertaker even care? Like, does he even care? And then I was like,
No, he said
it
it
hard.
literally. He's like, if the entire WWF, like, if I have to go through them all, then oops, so be it. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. And but it harkens back to that conversation we had about like for some reason you just think Undertaker has this like moral compass even though it makes no sense for him to. Like there's just like something in his character and the way he is that just lends itself to that storytelling where it's like okay, he says like I'll go through all the wrestlers, I don't even care, meh, I'm not fighting you. But then
right,
at the same time it's like will it start to weigh on him that like again, like we knew he wasn't going to get blackmailed for long because he just wasn't going to be able to do it
right,
like respectfully. And I just feel like it's going to be the same thing where it's like he says like, "Oh, I really don't care. I'm never going to fight you. You're my kin, blah." And
right,
then he's going to like start to feel the repercussions and like you're just going to have to get I'm the only one that can stop you. And now it's like my responsibility as your brother to blah. Like I feel like that's what's going to happen.
good,
Maybe.
pretty
I
good
don't
guess.
know.
Not
But
gonna lie.
I really
Yeah, you're like not too far off.
I love
So,
this.
so
I
yeah.
really love this.
I
This is
mean, we do
like
have a little bit before they, but that's what makes it so good.
it's so funny because I was begging for Kane and I was like, hurry up, hurry up. And now that Kane's here, I'm like, make me wait.
No,
Make me
literally.
wait. Because I
Uh,
have him and I can see him and I know he's there like a shark in the water. But now, like, just make me wait for the Jaws moment where he like bites the
mhm.
back of the boat. Like, I'm
So
ready.
we're good. We are
I'm seated.
yeah, we're along for the ride, and boy, is it a ride. So
Love.
very exciting stuff. So more to come on the Undertaker Kane feud. Love it. One of my
Mm-hmm.
faves.
10 out of 10.
So that takes us into our main event. We have Ken Shamrock taking on Triple H. DX is banned from ringside, very made very evident when Sergeant Slaughter is stops them at the ring apron and is like, "Yo, you're not. No, I was no fooling. I meant it.
I was serious. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go. Again, we reiterate the December 7th match between Ken Shamrock and the Heartbreak Kid. We get a rousing "We Want Brett" chant. That must be such a shitty feeling as a wrestler to, I mean, and I know it's like really fresh, so it's like they probably should have expected it, but to have somebody who's not even present be cheered during your match
Oh, I
is
thought
rough.
of that.
That's how I imagine it must have felt for like people after like CM Punk left because people were talking about CM Punk for like years. And like
Really?
people would and the crowds would like lose it if they thought like he was gonna like an off chance he would come back or like blah 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 and he didn't come back for years and years and years and years and years. And
I am
like
so curious about him. I
he
like because I know literally
really
next to
quite
nothing
an
about him,
enigma
but
that one, but yeah, he's well that's a different beast. Um, but it was a very similar vibe where it's like people were like would be chanting his name. I was like, bitch hasn't been on the show in like 5 years. And like, but that's
Girl.
just kind of the personality he is. Like,
Hmm.
um,
He
his
has
theme
that
song is
way.
literally the cult of personality. Like it's like so
I can't wait to look at his chart later, by the way.
yeah,
I can't
so
believe I've never looked it up. That's so funny.
yeah, yeah. Very known for, his work on the mic. He's also, very good in the ring, but
And that
it's
body.
yeah,
I'm
well
sorry. I
um
know I've said it before on this show, but like
mhm.
that slutty little waist. What is that? What is
It's a
that?
slutty little waist.
Oh, I love it. Sorry, pigs.
No, it's it's just little punk kids gone grown is really all it is.
So
Um,
true. Oh my God, that's it.
yeah, it's the next iteration. Like we've seen this. This is literally what all of my friends are turning into. They all look like him. I don't
It's
know
so true.
why.
And all your, like, everyone, you guys don't know this, but everyone Xavier knows is hot. Like, everyone Xavier has ever introduced me to, I'm like, why is everyone around you so hot? Like, coworkers, friends, roommates, like, everyone is hot. Like, like it's crazy. And I have that moment where I'm like,
I
does that
must
mean
be.
must be by proxy?
That's
Common
so.
denominator.
I love that.
Unless I'm like no, I'm just kidding. But
No,
like
no. That's crazy.
but literally everyone, if Xavier has like a get together, like if he decides to meld the friend groups and has like a birthday party or something, I'm always like, everyone here is so it's crazy.
I don't got time for uggos.
No,
I'm
period. It's
kidding.
just they're just attracted to you. It's crazy.
Oh,
Moths
like
to a flame,
I
baby.
was literally but thank you. But anyway, all my friends are hot.
Mhm.
So this match is probably the only match that we get. It still ends in a very, WWE in the 90s way, but we get the "We Want Bread" chants. Triple H is mouthing off to Sergeant Slaughter for a good chunk of the match, not gonna lie. Ken
So
down
crazy.
early part of the match, and then of course Triple H, being the heel, picks up later on in the match. Um, so this series of events that leads to the end of this match is a lot happens, so forgive me while I try to explain. Rick Rude makes his way down to ringside while Triple H is getting in Sergeant Slaughter's face. Sergeant Slaughter doesn't super notice it at first. Rick Rude doesn't really like hang out too close to the ring. He's kind of like the edge of the ring ramp. The match like continues, and then as we have a moment where Rick Rude tries to enter the ring with the briefcase, Sergeant Slaughter goes to address that situation. China comes down. He being Sergeant Slaughter, turns around from dealing with Rick Rude just in time to grab China's ankle and pull
Crazy.
her out of the ring. So now he's trying to fend them both off. And of course, Shawn Michaels comes running down the ring ramp. Rick Rude tosses him the briefcase. He slides into the ring, whacks Ken Shamrock in the back of the head, slides right out, right in front of Sergeant Slaughter, like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like, and you're
Crazy.
like, "Wow, wow, wow, wow."
I
So that allows for Hunter to pick it up. We think because the episode ends literally mid pinfall.
It's
Uh,
so strange. Like mid count, and they're like, "Well, see you next week," and we were like, "What? Oh,
TV time, baby.
TV time." I just want to, I will say, I'll give it to Sergeant Slaughter. He really did give it his all. He was
He
like really
tried.
trying. It was like trying to wrangle cats out there. He was
No,
like,
fully. And they were
I'm,
not having it.
and they were, it's not like they're small. Like Rick Rude is huge. China is a beast. Shawn
Mm,
Michaels is so scrappy and bouncy. He's
hmm.
like a gecko. Like, I mean, there was
Not
just
a
no hope for him.
gecko.
Well, he's jumping here, there, sticking to things. I don't
I know
know.
it just made
He's,
me think of like PJ Masks. I don't know if you're familiar,
I'm
but it's like a
not.
it's like a children's show that my little cousins were like obsessed with for a time. But one of them is they're like little kids that like convert to like superheroes, but they're like animal inspired like superheroes. One of
Oh,
them is Gecko.
classic. And that'll do
And the
it.
way you described him is actually just like the powers of the character, like just like all.
Okay,
So I
so
was just like Gecko.
Gecko. And I will not take it back.
That's fine.
So Sergeant Slaughter, Kamishi Slaughter, he really gave it his all. I'll give him that.
Really,
It's the
really
first time
gave
he's
us
ever
all.
done his job,
No, honestly.
but
Um,
love to see it.
that's going to be it for this episode of the New to Wrestling podcast, guys. Thank you for listening wherever you find us. Next week is going to be the Montreal Screwjob Part 2, where we are going to be discussing two documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
They're Wrestling with Shadows, which you can find on YouTube, and also Screwed, which you can also find on YouTube. I'm sure we will link them when we actually do the episode. I will
Correct.
say this is going to be more of like we're just going to have a conversation because last week we talked about the
The
chronological
timeline,
events
yeah.
that led up to the screw job and the aftermath. This one, we're probably just going to actually just chat more opinions, stuff like that. So come
Yeah.
join us, bring your coffee, your tea, your snacks. We'll see you there.
And your opinions.
And your
Um,
opinions.
so for Kelsey, I'm Xavier. This has been the New to Wrestling podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.
We will see you there.
Bye.
Bye.